All right, everyone. Welcome back to Betting by the Numbers, a sports betting YouTube and Discord channel dedicated to taking the decision-making process out of the hands of idiots like me and putting it in the hands of people who win. Today, we're going to do a kind of replica of yesterday. We're going to cover the pregame money allocation, kind of look at where games are today, when they are, and kind of plan out our schedule for the day. And then we're going to switch over to the OddsJam fantasy screen where we're going to be making our picks for our parlay play for this morning. As you saw yesterday, Parlayplay just has a lot more valuable picks earlier in the morning. Prize picks kind of seems to come more in the afternoon. Now, there's a lot of day games today, so that might change. We will be posting on the Pickit and the Discord channel, so follow along on all those places. Obviously, for videos, we'll be posting on YouTube. And then on TikTok, we are still there by Betting by the Numbers. So follow along today. We will have plenty of action. I can promise you that. So starting off, we go to the NBA where the 76ers are taking on the Nets. The 76ers opened as 5-point favorites with 53% of the tickets on them, yet 50% of the cash, and they have dropped to 2-point favorites. Obviously indicating some money recently going in on the Nets, moving that line down 3 points and taking the cash majority, or I guess a split of the cash. The Suns and Clippers are playing at 2:30. That line opened at -5 for the Suns. It has gone to -7.5 with 67% of the cash on the Suns, while 64% of the tickets on the Clippers. So again, big discrepancy there between the tickets and the cash. A lot of tickets, a lot of people of the public placing bets on the Clippers, yet the line is only getting bigger and the money is only getting larger for the Suns. So the Suns look like the early sharp play for that game. Moving to the Bucks and the Heat. The Bucks opened as 3.5-point favorites and have gone up to 4.5, with the tickets being 59% on the Bucks and the money being 73%. I really like that line, especially with it going up a bit. If you're going to take the Bucks, I would take them at 4 or 4.5. Don't let that line get up to 5 or 6, especially with injury news coming out more and more. So if you like them, take them earlier than later, because I think that line might grow, unless there's major injury news again that shifts it. So with the Grizzlies and the Lakers, the late night game at 9 p.m., the open line was Lakers -5. It has dropped to 4.5, while 88% of the cash and 85% of the tickets are on the Lakers. That's interesting to see the line drop with such a heavy amount of money and tickets on them. So it looks like the Grizzlies might be a underdog spot there. So interesting day for basketball, a lot of games, and they're spread out throughout the day. So you'll be able to make your picks kind of throughout the day. No matter what you're doing, you should be able to watch some basketball. You can see we have a full slate of baseball. I'm not going to go through each game, but we're highlighted by a couple good series. As I said yesterday, the Dodgers-Cubs game at Wrigley have been entertaining. The Mets-San Francisco have been good. Toronto-Yankees, White Sox-Tampa, and then a lot of interleague play today. We have Washington and Minnesota, Miami and Cleveland, Boston and Milwaukee, Houston and Atlanta, or St. Louis, rather, and Seattle. So a lot of games today. The money is very early on these baseball games, other than the early games. Garrett Cole for the Yankees taking on Toronto. They've gone from -145 to -172 for the Yankees, but you're going to have to pay with 95% of the cash on them. So have fun with that. We will move to the NHL. 4 games on the ice today. Games starting at 3 o'clock. First, we have Vegas and Winnipeg. Winnipeg opened at -104, have gone to -113, with the tickets 52% on Winnipeg, with 68% of the cash on Vegas. That's interesting that the line is moving out, but the cash is heavy on Vegas. So that'll be an interesting line to develop. Still, the cash is early based on pregame. We have Toronto and Tampa Bay. Toronto opened at -105, have gone to -118 with a large amount of the cash on them, 85% and only 52% of the tickets. Looks like Toronto is poised for another big game tonight. We have the New Jersey taking on my New York Rangers. The Rangers opened at -140 and have stayed at -141 with 80 and 78% of the tickets and cash on the Rangers. So heavy favorites at home. It'll be interesting to see if they can get game 3 done and get a big lead in the series. Colorado and Seattle are the night game, 9 o'clock. 75% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on Colorado, who opened at minus 154 and have gone to minus 143. So a lot of underdog opportunities on both the ice and the NBA tonight. So we will check out what Fantasy Screen has to show us. So we head over to OddsJam. We go to Screen and we click Fantasy Screen. That will bring up our tabs of all of our apps. We're going to navigate over to Parlayplay, where we will go find our picks for today. Something I wanted to point out that you should be watching for when using the OddsJam Fantasy Screen. And it's not necessarily a bad pick, but you just need to think about it when you're making your decision on which of these to take. If you see lines like this, the reason that is, it is what they call a one-way line, which is set by books like FanDuel, where they might say, are they going to hit this line, this line, this line? There is no option. It's just a yes option. So sometimes you're going to have a lot higher juice on those. And you can see they're not offering these same lines at the other books. So don't maybe just see minus 140 and think, oh my gosh, this is the greatest pick ever. Because that's only one book and they don't have an option for an under. So they compute that into the juice. So, it doesn't necessarily mean that just a high number it means a bad thing. But obviously look at the difference between them, right? Russell Westbrook, minus 125 at some books, but minus 150 and minus 146. I would like to check that out, see if it should be more consistent. So let's go to our first pick of the day. Enough talking. I'm sure you're done hearing from me talk about anything other than how we are going to make some money today, which is Chad Kuhl for the Washington Nationals, over 4.5 hits. We can see that it's minus 134 at Pinnacle, minus 152 at Caesars. These are all great lines. That's a low enough number, so we can head over to props.cash and just give ourselves a check. So we will head over to the MLB. And again, guys, not everyone needs to do all this work. You can just grab them off that page, throw them up there. I just like seeing kind of what we're getting from this guy last season. Yeah, he's a guy that gives up a lot of hits. Against Minnesota, he hasn't played them. Again, you don't need runs. You don't need a lot of productivity. You just need guys to get on base. 1 an inning, 2 an inning, 3 an inning. You get bases loaded, and you've really set yourself up well. So we like that as our pick. So we're going to head over to Parlayplay, go to the All tab. We are going to type in Chad's name, and we're going to go to hits, and we're going to have that on over. So let's head back to the fantasy screen. You can tell my voice starts to get a little quicker as we start making these picks, but as you've seen on previous videos, if you haven't watched, you should watch because they do give a lot of education and you can see me learning in the process. But there were times where I'm making picks and the lines are changing while I'm making the picks on the screen. So we like to move quick. Our next pick is going to be, so again, here you can see there's 2 lines that are a little bit more juiced than maybe these 2. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad pick, but you just need to take that into consideration. Our next pick is going to be coming from the ice. We have Pierre-Luc Dubois of the Winnipeg Jets, over 2.5 shots. You can see across the board, minus 134, minus 135, minus 148 at FanDuel. That's a little skewed, but that's okay. Minus 134 at Pinnacle makes me feel good. We head over to props.cash. We navigate to that NHL tab. And on the NHL tab, we will put that in and we will look at his shots on goal. You can see in the last 10, he's hit this 6 times. It looks like they will be at home for this game. You can see at home, he's hit 5 of the last 6. So we bank on following the sports books, follow the odds, don't overthink this. So we head to Parlayplay and we add his shots. So we can add both of them on overs. And head back to the fantasy screen where we will be looking for our next pick. I like this James Harden line. I haven't had a chance. I want to look at it a little bit more. Let's see if we can't find something else, but I don't mind it. It's just in the playoffs, it's hard for me. I know that James Harden has a history of this, but it's hard for me to look at a big name player, see 23.5 and say, like, I want to sit there and watch a big game and not see him doing well. And it just, I hate losing unders way more than overs. So It's just a consideration. Again, you guys do your thing. I kind of just make my picks the way I do. Been doing it for a long time, and it works. So we will look for some more lines. The next is going to be Hayden Wisniewski of the Cubs. This is an interesting line. The reason why we're going to show you first on Ballpark Pal today at Wrigley Field. Where are we at? There it is. Everything is going to be down on hits today. It's going to be windy. It's going to be cold. It's going to be 40, possibly rainy. So I think that does need to factor into consideration on this pick. So if we go over here and we don't see a history of giving up a lot of hits, now we're right at that line. He's given up 5 every game. Does the weather affect it? That's really the question. He hasn't faced the Dodgers before. I think that's a pick we're going to take. I just think the Dodgers offense is so good. Yesterday they lost, was it 13 or 14 to nothing to the Cubs? They almost got a perfect game thrown on them. I think they're going to have to show up well. Again, we don't need a 15 to nothing game. We need just the bases loaded once on a couple hits and then 1 or 2 every inning, and that gets us it. So I like that. Hayden Wisniewski over 4.5 hits allowed. The next line we'll be going to is, all right, it's either going to be Norman Powell or Russell Westbrook, or rather James Harden under points. So let's look at both of those lines and decide which one we like. So we navigate over to the NBA tab, and you can see these are the reason I'm making the decision is I mean, you can see with James Harden, minus 138. I mean, you have minus 129, 125. Those are great lines. In the same case, Norman Powell, minus 157 at Pinnacle, minus 130 at BetMGM. These are really, really good value. So one of these has got to be getting in our lineup. It just kind of has to happen. In points, James Harden hasn't hit this line in the last 10. He's hit it in 8 of the last 30. He's only hit it once against Brooklyn. They are on the road today. We can check that. In the last 10, he's a better on the road, but I really don't like his stats there. So we definitely like the James Harden. Let's compare it against the Norman Powell and see if we don't like either of them. One or more. Wow, Norman Powell's not great either. You can see he will be at home. So let's see how he performs at home. Not much better. Goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, we might have both of them. Let's put Norman Powell certainly on the board because I'm okay rooting against Norman Powell. I don't think he's going to hit 27. He's done it once, and that was last game. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. And then with James Harden, let's put him on there, and if we don't find a better option, that's fine with me. So we'll put them both on there, and if we can't find something better, then we believe them both. But, all right, let's go. Shots on goal, ice, Micah Zibanejad, minus 144, minus 130. Can we get a Ranger in the lineup? Let's head to props.cash over to the NHL screen. Let's see how Mika has been. Shots on goal, last 10. Not great. How about at home? Oh, my goodness. There it is. Okay. Now I see why the trend's there. Yeah. Even when he plays the Devils at home, it's an entirely different game. Mika, welcome to the Parlayplay lineup for today. We're going to trust you with possibly the anchor spot. So it's a big game for you. All right. All right, everyone. With Mika on the lineup, executive decision time. This is it. This is the lineup. This is it. This is the one that hits today. I feel great about it. We've done our research. We know that these are good lines. The odds are telling us to follow them. So we have Nationals, Chad Kuhl, over 4.5 hits allowed. We have Pierre-Luc Dubois, the Jets, over 2.5 shots on goal. Hayden Wisniewski, over 4.5 hits allowed. We got bum Norman Powell, less than 26.5. We got bum James Harden, less than 23.5. And we got Mika Zibanejad, over 2.5 shots on goal. So that's our parlay play today. You can see what the payouts would be for a $25 entry on the insured, which is what you should be doing. Not saying the $25, but I'm saying the insured option. That's where you get the value. So that's our picks for today. We are going to be posting game lines. We are going to be posting other picks on the Pickett as well as the Discord channel. So follow along. We will have plenty over this busy day. And I thank you guys for tuning in this morning. I'll try to get a video out this afternoon. If not, then we will have one for another busy slate of games tomorrow. So let's win some bets, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.